Welcome to the next to the last word. So, I'm not real happy today. And there's not much to find to be happy about. I guess it all depends on where you're looking. Of course, I'm watching politics. Has been the case for a while now. And yeah, you spend too much time in that world. It's not good. I just saw a report about the Tennessee special election, which was won by a Republican. And they were trying to put the Democrat spin on it, saying, well, he only won by 9 points. And that's really, for a state that went so dominantly Trump in the last election, that's not good at all. They're losing support. And they said that Trump was not involved with the campaign at all. They didn't want his they didn't want him to be involved in the campaign because they didn't think it was going to help. He says in Tennessee, the approval is about 50%. And that's a glass is half full versus half empty kind of situation, I suppose. Personally, I don't see a lot of hope because at this point, from where I'm sitting, it's amazing that there's that many stupid people in this country. What are you going to do? It's got to be impossible to reach these people at this point. They're staying willfully stupid. That's the thing. In this day and age where we have the internet, we can get on and search whatever you want. We could all know everything. And yet your AI is only as smart as the questions that you ask. And if you're not asking the right questions, it's not that hard to just stay ignorant. And I feel like that's what we're up against. They're just following the people that are telling them what they want to hear. And some of them are just absolutely deranged, like Megyn Kelly. We'll keep pushing that. And she's just more deranged every time I hear something come from her. It's just more sick than the last thing. And that's what we're up against again. And then we got this Pete Hegseth being guilty of war crimes. And what's going on with that? He's changed his story like 3 times now, from what I've seen, at least 3 times. And he's being covered because he is one of Trump's favorites. So there's nothing that's going to come of that. You see what I'm saying? It's like you see this, it's obvious, blatantly obvious to everyone, except for the MAGAs, because they're living with their head under the covers. But everyone else can clearly see that Hegseth is guilty here, and he's going to try to pass the buck or do whatever he can to squirm out from under it. And he has the support of Trump, who's going to help him do that. So nothing's going to come of it. Name 3 things that Trump has done that is positive. And I'm not even going to accept, deporting all the illegal immigrants as a positive. That's about a 50-50 split, I guess, where, some of them might be criminals. Most of them are not criminals. They may all be illegals, but that doesn't mean that they're harming the country. A lot of them had jobs. If you're pulling people off their job while they're out in the field, you're not arresting a gang member. That should be obvious. So here again, it all depends on your news feed. All depends on your little bubble. You can just filter that stuff out, and they don't take the time to think critically, and they're not going to ask any questions. And I know straight up, they don't care if they're blowing up boats in international waters, even though that is a war crime in itself. The MAGAs don't care because they don't even understand what is considered legal. And I hear positive reports about Republicans quitting. And yeah, I'd like to be happy about that, but 1 step forward and 2 steps back. And until something actually comes of it, there's no point in getting excited about it. Do we think there's going to be congressional hearings for Whiskey Pete? Not really. We don't think so, because they're just going to keep it under the rug. And that's just how they do. And they'll bring up the next big problem when there's no shortage. We'll just go on to the next thing. It's the next civil rights violation, or there's more stuff coming out about the Epstein files. And the more I hear about that, the less excited I am about ever finding out the truth. I just was watching something, you're talking about the FBI logged something like 3,000 overtime hours just for people to be redacting Epstein files. So, yeah, well, most of that's going to be worthless now, which we kind of expected. He had so much time for them to be redacting, and the fact that they still didn't get it all redacted is amazing. That should tell you how much Trump is actually in there, because if they spent that much time redacting and he still did not release the files until he had no choice, means that there was still stuff they didn't get to. And again, the video evidence, I suppose, is really hard to redact. You can't use a Sharpie for that. So, but they will just withhold those files because that's what they're going to do. Pam Bondi opened some cases at Trump's request so that she can just say, well, we can't release that because there's an ongoing investigation. So pretty much anything that's super incriminating was going to fall under that. That's just how it is going to work. So that explains how he hasn't caved in yet. He's thinking he's got it covered, and he probably does. That is the problem. In my train of thinking, I want this to be over with. I would really like the government to work as a team, work together on things that really matter. I'm not saying that the Epstein files don't matter, but it seems to be a dead end. We'll just say that. There's nothing. It's not that there's nothing there. It's that they're going to cover it up. He's got enough people have their heads buried up his ass, are all working overtime to make sure that he can't be caught. That's bad news. So what they need to be working on is healthcare for everyone, socialized medicine, getting rid of the tax loopholes. I outlined all this in another video, but this is what I feel like we're missing. While they're squawking and covering their own butts for being incompetent, aka Hegseth, they should be working on something positive. And that's what I mean when I say name 3 positive things that Trump has done. And you're going to say deporting the brown people because you're a racist. But that doesn't necessarily translate as being positive. Like, where did it help you on your bottom line? I feel like, yeah, in special instances, yeah, some people did benefit from that. But for the most part, it's costing us so much money rather than things like universal health care, which we should be able to swing in this country if we were so great. Remember how we were going to be great again? Do you notice that it never stops? That it's always make America great again. It's not we are great now. It's always something pushed off to the future, like, and it'll never be we're great now. It's never gonna. It's the quest with no end, the never-ending bullshit story, is basically what they're running on. There's no end to it. There's no, oh, we're there until you get universal health care for people and you eliminate the tax loopholes for the billionaires. And the current administration aka Trump and his big, beautiful bill, is working the opposite angle. It's almost like if there is some good to be done, and there's lots of need, Trump will be on the opposite side. That's just his default setting. Like, if there's anything good in the world, Trump will squash it because that's what he does. You know, we don't want benefits or anything for our citizens. They'll get rid of those and say that it's a scam that the Democrats want to give health care to the illegals, which is not true. They never said that, but just lie enough times, people believe it. And I can't imagine why people are still voting Republican. There is no Republican Party, as I've stated over and over again. It's the new American Fascist Party. This time in history will be remembered as is the rise of the fascist party in the United States of America, aka Trump. And as the people, you have the power to stop it, but you won't because you can't even see it. Too busy worried about stupid, worthless, to worry about things that actually would help, like healthcare. That's something that we could all benefit from, but no, we're not going to go there. And yeah, like I say, the Epstein files, yeah, it's important, no doubt. No, it should have been taken care of long ago. You know, what's the end result going to be? Nothing. That's, at this point, I feel like for the Republicans, it wouldn't matter if they do have photos of Trump with underage girls. They'll just steamroll right through that. It's like, nah, hoax, witch hunt, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't get some result from it, then you've wasted your time. I hate to say that. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't. I mean, they should have something. They got to give us something, right? After all this. And it'll probably be some Democrat. Somebody will get thrown under the bus and Trump will walk away scot-free because that's what he does. You think you got him? You don't. You think people are starting to come around in their thinking? They're not. It's 2025, people. You know, we should have gotten through all of this already. We did. We did get through all of this culture wars already, you know. And here we are fighting it in the homeland now. So what's up with that? People don't learn. They're willfully ignorant. Any of you can look up online, learn everything you want to know about fascism and what became of those countries that decided to go fascist. How'd that work out? You should be able to learn from the past so that we're not going through this. But here we are. We're going through it again. And we don't know how it's going to end. You know, I would like to be positive. I'd like to think that, you know, the good guys are going to win out. But in the real world, being right doesn't always matter. In this world, being right doesn't matter. It's about who controls the narrative in this day and age. And for the most part, Trump's been doing a good job at that. It's still, yeah, it's awe-inspiring. It really is. That in the face of all the laws that he's broken and, you know, violating people's civil rights, that he can still just say over and over again, it's a hoax. It's a witch hunt. And people believe him because they want to believe him. And that's what it really is. People have so much riding on the Trump presidency because they voted for him twice or three times, or they voted for him. And it's like picking a football team, only a little bit more serious, I guess. Same principle, though, is that you have to stick with your team no matter how bad they're doing. And this is the mentality that I feel like we're dealing with a lot of the time. there's not just one type of MAGA person, but I think that's one of them. They picked Trump the minute that they heard he was running, and they will not let it go, no matter how badly he does, no matter how much he lies to their face. They're going to stick with him. And then you got just like the hardcore fascists who are just like, oh, finally, reincarnation of Hitler. Yes, we finally had someone. And there's a lot of those, more than I would like to admit. The Proud Boys and guys like that. There's definitely a contingency. There always has been a contingency of those people, but generally speaking, they were such a small minority that it really wasn't a problem. But now with Trump, and he's openly racist, he empowers those people and they're back. And for them, yeah, it's not going to matter one iota if he's in the Epstein files. And you'd think it would. That's just it. Even among the racists, even among the lowest of the low, you would think that this business with the Epstein files would carry some weight with that. But they're actually willing to ignore that because they think that Trump's going to whitewash America. Apparently that's what they really mean by make America great again. I mean, they mean make it white again, which it never was. But, don't tell them that. Don't tell the ignorant racists this has never been an all-white country, because they don't want to hear it. And that's where we're going to be great. It's like, yeah, the economy's crumbling. People can't afford their rent and food. But hey, we got rid of some more. They rounded up another 100-some brown people. So, woohoo, big win there. Yeah, no, that's not helping you any. Don't you understand? They're spending so much money deporting these people, and they could be spending it on, food for the poor. They could be spending it on something positive. Food for you. You're going to be one of those poor people, like the farmers in the Midwest who can't sell their soybeans because of the tariffs. That's one of the first things the next administration has to do, is get rid of those tariffs and watch the economy bounce back. I kind of half expect that's what Trump's going to do right around the election time. What he's going to do is just get rid of the tariffs, and then everything will start to spring back. And because he knows that you're stupid, that you have the attention span of a gerbil, that you will not realize that it could have been good the whole time. But he'll be like, oh, look how much better it's gotten in this last month before the elections, where he gets rid of the tariffs, and all of a sudden everything starts to spring back. And he'll be like, yeah, see there, I did that. Well, you were holding us down to begin with. Clearly, Biden did not accept the jet from Qatar. It was Trump. And that jet is going to have to be dismantled completely and put back together on the taxpayer dollar. And do you think he's helping you? Yeah. Did you buy one of those gold Bibles? Did you? Is it extra good connection to God with those? Yeah, I doubt it. Yeah. So, all right, I guess I'm good here. I gotta move on, do other things. I'm so despondent about this. I really don't see how it's ever gonna play out in such a way, and I don't have any faith in the Democrats that if they do get the government back, if they do get Congress back, that they're gonna do anything. They're just gonna let all these crimes go because they want to unify America, which Trump's been doing nothing but separate America. And that's been his plan the whole time. But, the Democrats want to sit around and sing Kumbaya. One thing that they don't seem to understand, that Trump actually gets things done. They may be illegal and immoral, but he gets them done. He doesn't sit around and wait for permission. He just does it. Like tearing down the east wing of the White House. He didn't ask anybody if he could do that. He just did it. What are you going to say? He has presidential immunity. So even if he's at fault, you're not going to do anything. Of course, my theory is the reason why he's doing that is because he has no intention of leaving. That is one thing that we do have I have a little bit of faith that he's going to actually have to leave. And think about it. Think about what a messed up statement that is. That I have some belief that he's actually going to have to leave the White House. Whereas that should be a given. And I know a lot of people still treat it like it is a given. It's not. Nothing is a given in this world, folks. Not that or anything else. So many things can happen. He's just not going to go. He's going to cancel the elections, say that there's a war, there's an uprising over here. He's a wartime president, so he has to stay. And he'll just stay. But I'm starting to feel that may not happen because he keeps distancing himself from the military. And anyone who studies history at all will tell you that these countries that have coups, it's the leader of the military that takes over the country. He gets the military behind him, and that's pretty much everything. Trump does not have the military behind him. And this Hegseth mess is only making it worse because they're going to try to throw some admiral under the bus or some lower ranking officials to save Hegseth. And believe me, the military, they know that's what's going on, and they're not happy about it. They already didn't like Trump because he's a draft dodger. They didn't like his dictator parade, and they don't like him. And they certainly didn't like his speech that him and Hegseth gave, where they pulled all the top officials from the military together, and they didn't like that either. They won't tell them because they're good. They're smart. They know what they're doing. They're not supposed to have a left or right leaning political views. They're supposed to just be the military. And they're good at it. So they sat there all stoic while Trump and Hegseth tried to get him riled up, and they did not give an inch. So yeah, that's the one thing that is likely to save us in all of this, at least to stop the dictatorship from happening. Although, I mean, and to some extent, it already is a dictatorship because, as I previously discussed, he's doing whatever the hell he wants, and then he'll let the courts figure it out. And when the courts tell him, "Oh, you can't do that," it's like, "Well, it's too late. I already did it." You want me to put the East Wing back? Because I can't do that. They're already putting down the foundation for the ballroom, which nobody wanted ever or should even be there. I have fantasies about when they do finally drag him out of there, the next administration pulling all that gold off the walls and like auctioning it off for charity or something. That's what should happen when he's gone. All that gold inlay, auction it off for charity. Oh, look, you can have part of the Trump Oval Office. You can hang it up in your living room, huh? See, they don't ask me. They should ask me. I have all the answers right here. Anyhow, I was going to quit this. Like, comment, subscribe, share, come back, commiserate with me, any of the thinking people of the world, as we muddle through this existence together. There's going to be a lot more. There always is. Anyhow, take care, and I will see you later.